Hello Substreamers and welcome back to Substream News. I'm Joseph, your presenter, and this week I'm going to be talking about the future. Now if you hadn't guessed already, I'm very interested in the future. But what the future means for different people is very vastly different. Now, some people see a utopia with incredible technology, flying cars, and most of our humanly problems solved. But for some others, there's more of a dystopian vision, or even zombies, nuclear fallout, things like that. Now, if you fall into the latter, this first story is really going to interest you. So let's imagine for a minute we're in a bit of an apocalypse, right? The end of the world, a dystopian future where things are not going well. In that kind of scenario, what kind of vehicle would you like? Now, you could say a Ferrari, but a bit impractical. Perhaps a truck. Well, not a bad idea. How about a Tesla Cybertruck? Yes, what about a Tesla Cybertruck with full armor? Right, let's discuss. So Archimedes is a defense firm from California, and they have recently released their line of upgrades, kind of armor and protections for the Tesla Cybertruck to make it battlefield ready. Now, if you're going out on raids or you're in an active war zone or something like that, that's pretty useful. And actually, Elon Musk kind of approves, not directly, but this is a quote he said last year. The apocalypse could come along at any moment. And here at Tesla, we have the finest in apocalypse technology. That's such a strange thing to come out of the words of the world's richest man's mouth, but we shouldn't be surprised by now, should we? Okay, so Archimedes have teamed up with Unplugged Performance, called up.fit, and it's billed as the ultimate defense upgrade, and it can protect, this is incredible, against 14.5mm heavy machine gun rounds and IEDs and mines. That's because it has a kind of V hull protector underneath it, so even if there's a road bomb, the car would be fine. And the battery is actually underneath the Tesla Cybertruck, which is why that's necessary. Now, you may have heard in the past that Cybertrucks are bulletproof, and they are to an extent from typical handguns, if such a thing exists, a typical handgun. But when it comes to heavy rounds and battlefields, they're not actually that bulletproof. So what else comes as part of this package? Well, Starlink gives you Wi-Fi everywhere, which is quite useful perhaps in a modern battlefield, but not sure how useful that will be in an apocalyptic scenario. Although perhaps that satellite just keeps on working, and even at the end of the world we can watch reels and TikToks. Now, something else that's absolutely fantastic about this upgrade is that you can use electricity, JP8 jet fuel, diesel or biodiesel to recharge your Cybertruck, which I think at the end of the world would be quite useful, especially electricity. If you could hook that up to some solar panels, assuming that kind of infrastructure's gone, that would be quite useful. There are three different models: the Sting Bacher, the Sting Protector, and the Sting APC. Now, the Sting APC is the most advanced or comprehensive package. Sounds like I'm trying to sell it. I'm not. I'm just telling you, because actually you and I won't be able to buy it anyway. It's designed for military or government use, and they are really war zone ready. They will likely be sent out to an active battle somewhere. So what do you think? Do you think that maybe Elon Musk and Tesla should just let the experts do their thing when it comes to military transport, or is this actually a good, useful innovation? I'll let you decide. You can let me know down in the comments. But before I move on to our next story, I've got a side story that I think you're going to like, and it comes from Chechnya. Okay, so this guy here is Ramzan Kadyrov, and he is a Chechen warlord, and he's on the US sanction list, which is not a surprise, and he kind of lives in his own dystopian nightmare or dream anyway. He is kind of the perfect candidate to buy one of these souped up defensive Cybertrucks. Except he took a much different approach. And instead of making a defensive version, he made an offensive version. So there are videos, which you can see right here, of Ramzan driving around Chechnya in his own Cybertruck, which has been fitted with a heavy machine gun turret in the bed. Wow. So, buying a Cybertruck off the black market, fitting it with a heavy machine gun, probably not going to do his sanctions case for human rights violations much favours, let's be honest, but it is probably going to be quite useful in his local battle, although he might have forgotten that it's only handguns that make these bulletproof. Now, Kadyrov did post on Telegram his new acquisition with this message: "I express my sincere gratitude to Elon Musk. This is, of course, the strongest genius of our time and a specialist. Great man! Well, the Cybertruck turned out to be a powerful project. Undoubtedly one of the best cars in the world. I literally fell in love with this car." It sounds like Donald Trump wrote that. Is it just me? It's strange. Well, yes, he also said he'd be sending it to a war zone. I'm not sure it's going to work. Maybe he needs to contact Archimedes and get the Sting upgrade for his Cybertruck. Let's finally move on to our next story. Far, far, far from Chechnya, ideologically and geographically, the US is actually planning for a much safer future for vehicles. So I'm afraid no machine gun mounted turrets or V-hull protectors for roadside bombs, but actually what they want to make is vehicle-to-everything technology. And I really like this, which is, of course, why I've included it in this video, because I think you need to know about it, because it's likely it will affect you one day. Actually, more than affect you, it could save your life. That's the whole point. Vehicle-to-everything technology is the idea that vehicles can talk to everything, but really other vehicles, roads, road signs, stoplights, pedestrians, bicycles, kind of other things around the road. Now, it's not much use for your fridge to talk to your car or your air conditioner to talk to your car, but if your car can talk to other things that could be danger, that would be useful. And that's the plan that the US is drawing up for the future of American vehicles. They believe it could save hundreds of thousands of people from injury in crashes each year. So in the US, around 40,000 people die each year on average in road traffic accidents. And of course, they want to reduce that figure. Now, vehicle-to-everything technology, which is abbreviated as V2X, which is much more catchy, is being described as, and this is from the US Department of Transportation, a commitment to pursue a comprehensive approach to reduce the number of roadway fatalities to zero. Now that's interesting. They actually believe this technology could, in application, just remove road deaths. I'm skeptical, but let me tell you a bit more about what V2X can do. Okay, so here's some information. V2X would enable vehicles to stay in touch with each other, as well as pedestrians, cyclists, other road users, and roadside infrastructure, as I described. What kind of information would be relevant? Well, their position, of course. You probably guessed that one. Their speed, and also, interestingly, road conditions. Now, they'd also be able to share information about visibility, corners, and things like that. And I'd imagine accidents that have already happened that might influence road conditions. So I think that's a wonderful innovation. And if they're able to make it happen, which I don't see why not, because car manufacturers have so much financial muscle, this could be a huge game changer and make roads much, much more safe. What do you think? Do you think this is going to happen? Let me know in the comments. While you're down there, scrolling down, look guys, we're growing, but we can't do it without you. So if you are a first-time viewer and you've made it this far in the video, why not subscribe? You know, I would really appreciate it. We all would here at Substream News Network. Let's move on. Remember, click the link. Subscribe. Let's move on. This is a little throwback. At the end of June, we covered a story about Waymo, which used to be Google's self-driving car project in San Francisco, and we kind of explained how they were transitioning these driverless vehicles to be robo-taxis in San Francisco. They've proven incredibly popular and racked up like millions of miles of taxi miles. But it hasn't all gone to plan, as one Twitter user shared the other night. So it's a little update on that story. Something went wrong, and somehow dozens of robotaxis all ended up in the same car park. They were honking at each other. They were driving round in circles. They were flashing their headlights. This is all without drivers, and this is at 4 a.m. Actually, the guy who tweeted it, his caption was, "I would find it funny if it wasn't 4 a.m., which I quite liked. That's witty. So what happened next? Well, Waymo claimed that they've solved the software problem that caused this to happen, and it shouldn't happen again, but maybe something else bizarre will happen again. If it does, and it makes the news, and we catch it in our little filters, I will be here to share it with you. Let's move on to our next story. Yes, I am really excited about this one. I feel like, and you might feel the same, I'm forever charging my mobile phones. Obviously, every day, but so twice a day. If I have to hotspot or I'm really busy on my phone with work, maybe 3 times a day. Isn't that frustrating? And then it takes a while. I've got multiple portable batteries that I carry around. It seems like charging my phone is becoming a bit annoying. It is annoying. No, it is annoying. Factually, let's agree. Let's just agree. It's annoying, isn't it? It wouldn't be so annoying if it only took 5 minutes to get a full charge. Now that I would love. Would you love that too? Because it's a reality now. Yes. Let me tell you what's happened in China. Okay, so scientists from the electronics company Realme in China, they've created 320 watt supersonic charge. That's the name of their product. And it literally takes 4 minutes and 30 seconds or 270 seconds to get a full charge on your phone. Now, they just demoed this at the Realme 828 FanFest event in Shenzhen, and the crowd went wild, I assume. But they got to see a live demonstration, which I think is super cool. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Now that beats the previous record, which is from Redmi and Xiaomi, who worked together to do a full charge in 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Now, there is an explanation for how they've done it and how they've redesigned battery chargers. They actually had to redesign the battery to be able to charge this fast. Because I think if you took a regular iPhone like this and tried to charge it in 4.5 minutes, it'd probably explode. So the links to all of our stories are always in the description. So if you're curious to know how they managed to charge a phone in 4.5 minutes and redesign the battery, it's to do with folding cells. I didn't quite understand it. The link's there. I implore you to go read it. It's very interesting, if you can understand it. Now, to put in context, 4.5 minutes, here are some things that you can do in 4.5 minutes. Read your emails and write a reply or two. Message a couple of old friends you haven't spoke to in a while. Scroll down to click subscribe and make sure you're following Substream News. That one, definitely you could do. Tidy your bedroom. You know, you kind of should. Listen to one song on Spotify. Put some laundry in the washing machine, or do some squats or push-ups or kettlebells, whatever you've got around you. Do a little mini workout. 4.5 minutes, you could do any of those things. You could probably do more than one of those things. That is enough time in the future, once these are publicly available, to fully charge your mobile phone. Yes, please, I need that yesterday. Let's move on to our final story, a much lighter note. BMW, one of the world's most, let's say, recognizable car manufacturers and brands, is doing a pretty awesome collab with Uno, the game, the card game. I love Uno. You play Uno? I actually do play it regularly. So how are they collabing? Well, they're going to be adding a digital version of Uno to their in-car gaming system for about 500,000 of luxury vehicles from this year and beyond. Now, there's a catch, but I'm not going to tell you until the end. Yes, so Uno is owned by Mattel, which is the same company that owns Barbie. It's one of the world's biggest toy companies, and they have teamed up with BMW. Now, it's a 4-player game, and the in-car entertainment system is called Air Console, which was built over the last few years and has proven vastly popular. Now, what is the downside, the caveat? This one, it's a bit of a shame. It's still great that you can play Uno in the car, but the downside is the car has to be parked and you can't play it while you're driving. So it's designed to entertain kind of the people in the car when you have to stop and recharge, or you have a pit stop, you have a break on a long journey. That's the idea behind games within the Air Console system. I still think it's really awesome, and I think you will probably agree with me. Now, all you really actually need is your mobile phone and the console. They work together. Because I bet you were thinking, how can I hide my cards, my Uno cards, from other people in the car? Yeah, use your phone. Really cool. I'd love to see these crazy crossovers. That's one that I wasn't expecting. That is it for this week, for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe. You could even turn on notifications if you're feeling extra generous. I know some people have already, so thank you to you guys. Welcome to Substream News. I'm Joseph. I will see you next time.